At the beginning of the film we see Kyle, the son of a news anchor. Now, because he was the son of a wealthy man and was attractive, that's why he was so arrogant and self-centered. Kyle is elected committee president after winning the elections at his school. He was speaking to the entire class. He also bullies the students who aren't attractive. They also had a girl named Kendra among them. Kendra was a witch, not a typical adolescent. She left the forest and came here to study like any other kid, but Kyle has no idea she's a witch. When Kyle returns from addressing, he notices that Kendra has ruined his posters. When Kyle asks Kendra about it, she introduces Kyle to a girl, Linda. Linda was Kyle's classmate and also likes him. But Kyle talks to her for the first time in 3 years. The next day, Kyle apologizes to Kendra for bullying her. He also invites her to the party. Kendra attends the party while Kyle is given a second chance. Kyle, on the other hand, had no idea that this was his ruse, to humiliate Kendra in front of everyone. Kyle says ill to Kendra at the party in front of all. Because Kendra is a witch, she curses Kyle. Kyle didn't understand anything, and he returned home while unconscious. Kendra arrives and informs him that I have cursed him. Kyle is transformed into a bald human as a result of it. His face was covered in strange tattoos and scars. It means he was looking terrible and unattractive. In short, he was looking ugly. None would like to look at him. Kyle is informed by Kendra, if a girl does not tell you this before the next spring season, I like you and I love you, you will always be this way ugly. When Kyle's father returns home, he is taken aback by his son's condition. He immediately takes him to the doctor. The doctor doesn't have any solution for this. Kyle's father says to the doctor, I am ready to take any risk. I am ready to give the money that is required. But I can't see my son's face like this. Kyle comes out in anger after hearing this. Kyle was aggressive with his father. Taking any risk implies that his father will not care if he dies during this process. It was a heartbreaking situation for Kyle. Kyle's father shifts him far from the city in a house. Meanwhile, everyone was told in the city that Kyle is in a recovery center. A maid was hired to take care of Kyle. Kyle's father has left him alone at a far distance in this difficult time. It had become difficult for Kyle to fight alone with this situation. He feels alone. He had none who will listen to him. Someone knocks at the door. When Kyle goes to check, Kyle had a blind tutor who had been hired by his father. Kyle has a proper conversation with his maid that night. He discovers this because she was unable to obtain a green card. His maid relocated here after leaving her family. That's why his maid is still in the wrong. Kyle then meets Kendra at a party and apologizes to her, pleading with her to please remove this curse from me and make me fine. According to Kendra, this curse will not be lifted until you are liked by a girl. It means until a girl falls in love with you. As time goes on, Kyle notices his best friend with someone else. He gets hurt after seeing this. Meanwhile, his classmate Linda arrives. She doesn't recognize Kyle. In front of him, she expresses her grief over his disappearance. She expresses her grief. Kyle is drawn to Linda because he likes this aspect of her. Just after this, Kyle starts following Linda. He was keeping an eye on her. He stays happy because of her. While following Linda, one day he sees Linda has gone backside of the building while searching for her father. 2 dealers were standing while pointing a gun at her father. Kyle throws the gun while attacking one of them. The other dealer feints Linda while making her fall down. Kyle lifts up Linda and drops her inside the building. He discovers after coming out that Linda's father has shot a dealer. The other dealer warns Linda's father that he will not leave his daughter. Seeing an opportunity, Kyle asks her father to leave Linda with me. She will be safe in my care. Linda's father agrees with him. The next day, her father takes her to Kyle's home. Kyle hides his real identity and shows himself as a hunter. He doesn't go in front of Linda. His maid receives Linda. Linda screams angrily at his father. How could you leave me alone with an unknown person? Later, she requests that her father leave without saying goodbye. Linda says to Kyle while calling him, if you come too close to me, I will aggravate your condition. She clearly despises him here. Linda later locks herself in a room. Kyle begins to impress her. He drops the expensive gifts outside her door. But it didn't affect Linda. It means she wasn't impressed. When Kyle's maid notices this, she asks him to help Linda understand. Because she is different from the other girls, while negotiating with his maid, he gives Linda cotton of jellies. With it, he also asks Linda to stay positive about her father. He tries to make her understand that her father has done this for her safety. Listening to it, Linda feels relaxed. She also accepts jellies as a gift. Then Kyle starts writing love letters for Linda. He doesn't give her the letters in fear of rejection. After it, to impress Linda, Kyle starts making a greenhouse on the roof himself. Kyle always hides from Linda. Linda doesn't feel good and feels irritated. When he sees no other way, Kyle reveals himself in front of her. The shocking thing for Kyle was Linda doesn't feel his face ugly. Even she says, "I've seen more weird faces than this. There is no problem with your looks." Listening to this, the feelings for Linda in Kyle's heart enhances. Finally, Kyle completes the greenhouse. The happy thing for him was Linda likes the greenhouse. But the troubling thing was the spring season was near. Linda doesn't have the feelings for him that will release him from the curse. Being worried about this, Kyle moves to Kendra. He asks Kendra, "I don't mind if you don't remove the curse, but I need more time." But Kendra refuses this. She gives him an offer. "If Linda will love you, I'll make you feel better, and your tutor's eyes will feel better as well. Alternatively, I will give your maid a green card." After that, Linda tells Kyle that she liked him a lot, despite the fact that he was the hunter. Kyle as a hunter convinces her Kyle also liked you. Linda says, "No, this is a lie. I don't take it seriously." Then Kyle and Linda go on a trip. Kyle expresses his feelings in front of Linda, but Linda says to him, "I just consider you a good friend of mine." Nothing more than this. Linda receives a call, and she was told her father is in hospital. The dealer who warned her father is also in jail. Linda moves to her father. She reads the letters given by Kyle, and then calls Kyle. But Kyle's heart was broken. He was hurt, and he didn't talk to her. Kyle is forced to meet Linda at school by the maid and tutor. Kyle is interested in marrying Linda. Linda then tells him, "I like you too." Kyle's body remained unchanged even then. Then Linda leaves, and Kyle is disappointed and upset as a result. Linda turns and she says to Kyle what he wanted to listen from her. It means, "I like you and I love you a lot." Kyle walks out of school happy and notices himself in the mirror. He has arrived in his true state. After much effort, the curse was finally lifted. Kyle was overjoyed and ready to go when Linda arrived. She ignores Kyle and begins looking for the hunter. Kyle convinces her that "I am the hunter. I became that way as a result of the curse. Your love restored me to my former self." His curse was lifted as a result of Linda's efforts. She ignores him and addresses him as a hunter. Kyle's phone rings. Here, Linda believes in Kyle. Then we see Kyle's blind tutor has recovered and regained his sight. The maid has a green card as well. It means Kendra has kept her promise. While giving Kyle his looks, she has also given everything to the tutor and the maid. Kendra is later discovered, and she moves to Kyle's father to teach him a lesson. The film concludes here.